Welcome to HCCTV's Critics' Choice. Thank you for joining us in our April episode. My name is Randee Ramsey, and I am the Executive Director of Southwest Alternate Media Project and an HCC faculty member. And we are coming to you today from the prop storage adjacent to our soundstage here on the A-Leaf campus, home of our filmmaking program, part of our Media, Visual, and Performing Arts Center for Excellence. And as always, my co-host, Pete Vonder Haar, from the Houston Press, who is the Houston Press film critic.
That's correct.
And I always want to say you're part of the Critics Association and you're an author and you do all the things.
I do all the things. I'm in the Houston Film Critics Society, the HFCS, an anagram which has caused us no end of problems. And I have written three books. They're called the Clark and Clark Mysteries. They're available on Amazon, and there's a fourth one coming any day now, I promise.
When are we going to adapt them to movies?
Well, I mean, I look at, the Apple TV money and Netflix money, and I'm like, I see some of this would be great.
This would be great.
Yeah, come on.
Coming to you soon, Clark and Clark. We'll do that.
We'll do that,
off air.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, great to be back. Before we get started on our topics, obviously, film had its big night, the Oscars. Just really quick, What did you think?
I was mostly satisfied with the results. I mean, I thought One Battle After Another was probably one of the better movies of the year, as was Sinners, and so that they split a number of awards was satisfying. I probably would have preferred Delroy Lindo over Sean Penn for supporting actor, but all in all, I think it was a decent ceremony, lacking the usual drama. If you're going to have a ceremony where the Hollywood likes to, pat itself on the back, it was as good as anything else.
I will say I prefer Delroy Lindo doing anything.
Sure.
Because he's
just
Jesus, so talented.
Yeah.
And so good. A big standout for me was our first female cinematography winner ever. So very, very thrilled with that. And I am a huge devotee of Sinners. So,
yeah. And
I don't like vampire movies or horror movies, and I loved it. I've seen it now 7 times.
Oh, wow.
My students are like, please stop talking about this movie.
You passed
me up. I know, it took me a while though. Anyway, I thought it was boring. I fast forwarded through most of it.
Sinners?
No, the show, the Oscars.
Oh, the Oscars.
I just I tape it. I record it in my DVR, which also makes me 400 years old. And then I fast forward through a bunch of it because it just got a little but anyway. Okay, so as Pete said, we are talking about Texas film festivals, especially some of Houston's diverse gems. So, for example, the Indian Film Festival was earlier this year in Houston, and South by Southwest just ended a week ago, 10 days ago?
About 10 days ago, yeah.
Okay, I'm, menopause. I have no idea. Okay, were you at South by this year?
I was not at it. It's been a while since I've been, but as we kind of discussed earlier, it's whatever showcase it was for independent film has kind of fallen by the wayside. You've got a lot of the tech crowd are there. There's a lot more in term, there's a lot of AI proselytizing that I heard about. And my problem was having gone to UT and back in the dark ages, when South by Southwest started, when you could buy a $15 pass and go to any number of bars and see any number of bands, they're kind of going away from the music aspect that kind of helped land them on the map in favor of, this sort of going after the bro crowd, which, yeah. So I haven't been in a while. I really don't have any desire to go back soon. I mean,
it certainly has turned into a tech bro crowd, and I agree. And this year they stacked everything in a weird way. I don't know, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know that the money's worth the pass. You know what I mean? I just don't know that the pass is worth the money. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
So, moving on, since I don't think either of us are buying a pass for next year.
Nope.
Houston Latino Film Festival just wrapped up, and that is one of my favorite film festivals every year.
They have an incredible amount of, the slate is jam-packed. It's really impressive how much they cram into 3 days.
And it's hard to believe it's only 3 days. Mm-hmm. So And their student pass is super affordable. Their opening night party is always like a really great vibe, and they do great workshops as well. So, you know, if you haven't been to the Houston Latino Film Festival in the past, look out for it. And they do year-round events, so hit their website up and take a look.
Yeah, they definitely had some. It was, you could tell from what I did not attend this year, but looking at their slate of offerings, there was a lot kind of relevant to the current situation.
Yeah.
As well as a lot of very joyful, you know, celebratory kind of films. And I think I feel bad that the former has kind of shoved the latter to the side. Like there was one movie that I definitely want to catch, which is called Quince, which is a horror movie set around a quinceañera, which it's such a great idea. I'm amazed that nobody's thought of it before. But yeah, that's one I would be absolutely looking forward to.
I mean, again, horror movies are not my bailiwick, but if you get a chance to see it. That's why you're here. It was fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's a great idea. And there were several short films and their short film blocks that were, you know, really, really celebratory of the culture and, you know, just the art, because it's so deep and so rich. So I'm such an HLFF fan.
Yeah.
I am excited because Black Cinema Club is starting their own film festival, and that opens April 17th. And I think it's the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And I believe that they're going to be down at the Deluxe as well as other venues. So we're super excited to see what they've got going on.
I love the story on them that they, you know, they were inspired to do this by sinners, coincidentally, like that. So they sort of had a watch party for that, several watch parties for that, and out of it came, well, why don't we do something along these lines? And I think that's something that, you know, is going to do well in Houston, because I think, you know, the Latino Film Festival performs well, obviously because of our demographics, but I think the Black Cinema Club is absolutely, it's just going to get its feet going this year, but I think it definitely has the potential to expand.
We worked with them at the Houston Media Conference this past year. They did one of our interactive networking events, and it was incredibly successful. And they're a great group of artists and big fans of film and television. So I'm excited to see what they've got going. I'm very hopeful. I'm hoping to get there for the 18th and the 19th. Swamp has a fundraiser on the 17th that conflicts, so I won't be there. But I'm hoping to get there on Saturday and see what they've got going on.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. Looping back, I know we're running up on the segment here, but we had talked about the Indian Film Festival, which had a comparatively smaller run of films. I think only had like 4 or 5, but one that I did catch was one called the Patel Motel Story. And it's a classic immigrant story. This couple comes from Gujarat, India, lands in Sacramento in the 40s, starts a hotel. And from there, it's a short film, so it doesn't really get too deep in the weeds, but it sort of tracks this family's basically spread and control of, they estimate, up to 60 to 80% of the budget motels in the United States. So
I missed it.
Yeah, no, it's worth your. You can find it, I think, online, and it's pretty short. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Oh, well, we'll check that out.
This is the kind of stuff you can find at these festivals. I mean, just little gems that you wouldn't have thought about.
No, that's worth a watch.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about festivals right after this.
HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on success. More degrees, stronger training, global online learning. A new name, the same mission. A bigger vision. Houston City College. Register now at hccs.edu.
We come from a long line of farmers, and there's a sense of pride, but there's also a significant amount of pressure.
Farmers have to take care of their physical and their mental health, because what's a farm without a farmer?
Watching the sun come up, that's my time. I can have a cup of coffee, and every day's a new opportunity.
That's cool. Your hand's gotten so
Yay!
Don't forget to check in on yourself. Love your mind.
Habitat for Humanity has helped tens of millions of people around the world build their lives on their own terms. We have so much more to do, and we can't do it alone, because all of this starts with home, and home starts with you.
Hi, welcome back to Critics' Choice. Randee, we were talking about local film festivals, and one that's coming up May 2nd through 4th is the Houston Palestine Film Festival. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that one.
I know this is one of our newer festivals, right? It's only in its second or third year. It's coming up, is it?
It's been
4 or 5?
5 or 6 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it the first 2 years, but I know it's one of our newer festivals. It's coming up May 2nd through the 4th.
Yep.
And I don't think their slate is out yet. Have
It
you
is
seen
not.
it?
I have not. I'm curious, mostly just again, we've already talked about sort of the political atmosphere. I'm wondering, I'm really kind of curious to see what they're going to be showcasing, because obviously a lot's been going on in that region. There's been a lot of
That's an understatement.
yeah, there's been a lot of political back and forth, as well as violence. I wonder. I'm very curious to see what's going to be in the offing for that festival.
Are they doing it at Rice Cinema this year?
Yeah, I think so.
If you have not been to the new Rice Cinema facility, it is really, really beautiful. And I hope
it
that
is
it
Rice Cinema.
becomes a home for a lot of new and emerging artists, and that festivals like this get the opportunity to use it, because they have a 35 millimeter, a 16 millimeter, and I believe they have an 8 projector as well.
Oh wow!
So
I didn't know
they're
that.
going to be able to project real film, which is nice.
It is nice, and to your point, sort of the facilities that are growing in the city. Even 10, 15 years ago, when you talked about Houston Film Festivals, you talked about World Fest, and you talked about maybe Houston Cinema Arts was just getting off the ground, and now you've got all of these different festivals that are incorporating different cultures and things like that. And I think that to me is going to do more to put us on the map in terms of film production and entertainment than any of those other sort of marquee events.
Yeah, I think it's important that we always embrace the diversity and the cultural richness that is Houston, because that is our superpower. And, as an artist, it is great. I can go around the whole world, or I can circle the 99 loop and, taste, feel, and see everything. And all of these festivals also do year-round programming, granted limited, but even like Rung Film Festival, which is coming up May 16th and 17th, and I think they're largely at Match. They'll do screenings throughout the year that will bring arts to us and films to us that we otherwise don't get to see. And I don't think their slate is out yet.
I think it just dropped. There's a lot of it's focused more on like South Asia. There's a bunch of I know there's several Pakistani films that are going to be there. Some they're going to be I think only in Urdu with English subtitles.
That's
so
great, though.
But I mean that's you're getting those perspectives that you may not. You're aware of them, but you're not really familiar with them. And just to shout out Match, I mean, Match does things all year round. And I really don't feel like people outside of our community or the film community in general are aware that it's there. And I think I really would like it to be a little more well-attended, I think.
Yeah, that's the Midtown Arts Theater Center, which is right there between Fannin and Main.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Match, and I've done a lot of work down there. They do have a DCPI.
Yeah.
So they have the correct projector, and they have a tech crew there. But if you check out the Match website, because there are films, premieres, local artists rented out, live theater, dance. It's a really great facility. And they offer great nonprofit rates, which I think is really key. And, as so many of my friends who are in film know, if you get a grant, you're required to do a showing, and sometimes finding a place that you can afford is hell on wheels.
And then you can walk down to the Continental Club and get a beer.
You can walk down to the Continental Club. You know what else is over there is the Breakfast Club,
Oh, yeah.
which is the place that made me fall in love with cheesy grits, but that's for a different show. And then May.
There's the food reference.
Yes, we do love food around here. May is Asian American Pacific Islander Month. And HCCTV always welcomes Happy Fest to their daily show for Film Friday. And their film festival will be coming up. I know that they also are very celebratory of the culture and offer a lot of really specific programming that we would not otherwise get.
They have a really big shorts program. Like they really encourage short filmmakers, filmmakers who make short films. Not necessarily short filmmakers. But it's like 2 weeks long. Like it runs, not the entire film part of it, but the entire festival is really lengthy and gives you a lot of opportunity to go and experience, the different things they're offering, whether it's, food or just film or, any other kind of, cultural representation. So
I know, I always find it literally, and I know it sounds cheesy, but it is a happy festival. Like, it's not doom and gloom. It's really, really celebratory and joyful.
Yeah.
Usually, my experience coming in out of there has been.
Yeah, the times I've been have always been a real blast, but I'm eager to check it out this year for sure.
Well, you know, the Filipino festival comes up too, and they don't have a film component yet, but I wish they did, because there's some great films coming out of the Philippines for another show. Shockingly good.
So were we going to talk about the ATX Television Festival? I mean,
So the fun thing about ATX Television Festival, I know it's not in Houston, but they call it TV Camp for Adults, and it is for artists, but as well as fans. And I was there last year because I was a semi-finalist in their pitch competition, which I didn't win, but I'm not bitter. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really, really, not bitter much. I'm really looking forward to it. They have not dropped their slate yet either, but I know that they, like last year, they had a really good panel on King of the Hill, and they had the entire Gilded Age cast there, and they had the writing crew for, the Harrison Ford Shrinking.
Yep.
Watching that panel about the writer's room of Shrinking, I used some of the topics they discussed there to teach my class on show running here at HCC. And it's just a really good example of how you can be a fan and a professional in the same time.
Well, yeah, and that's the Bill Lawrence show. He did Scrubs. If you're going to talk show running, I mean, that's a pretty good guy to get influences off of. But.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Lawrence showed up for it and was there, and it was he showed up, but he didn't get on stage and talk. He let his whole team talk, and then he sat and listened to him. He showed up for another panel that was later in the day, and he said, because this is about the writers in the room who are doing the work every day, and I just really want to honor that. And I thought, can I work for you? So, you know, I think the takeaway from this segment is check out the cultural arts calendars, check out CRON, check out HCCTV. But these local film festivals, like the local cultural festivals that we have, are a great way to learn from your neighbors and your friends and experience a different culture and reach out beyond your usual comfort zone. Because there's some good art happening in this city, people.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back with more after this.
When faced with complex challenges, there are people who come together to solve problems and transform lives. We are Rotary. We're committed to causes that improve lives everywhere. Find your cause and take action with us.
For over 50 years, HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on your success. This is your college, growing, evolving, expanding with you. More bachelor's degrees, stronger workforce training, online learning with global reach. A new name, the same mission, bigger vision. Houston City College, local focus, global reach. Register now at hccs.edu.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Welcome back to Critics' Choice. As we said at the top of the show, we want to cover some of the new releases hitting theaters now that the dust has settled and all awards are done and we don't have to talk about anybody's gowns or anything for quite some time.
Yeah, well, to start with, one of the bigger releases that's come out just a few weeks ago was the new Ryan Gosling joint, Project Hail Mary, from the Andy Weir, author of The Martian, which was another fairly successful space epic. I did catch this. It's technically very impressive. The effects the visuals are they use a lot of practical effects as opposed to CGI. So the supporting character, who I won't spoil, is all practical. The sets were all practical. They all had to be made on rotating. They had to do an actual rotating stage because the things had to sort of fall in a different way, and he had to be able to move across the set. It was a little heartwarming for me. There were some definite deliberate tear-jerking moments, but I thought all in all it was really well done. My kids got mad at me because I think I rated it 3.5 out of 5, and they were like, why didn't you give it a better grade? I was like, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't like it as much as you. That's allowed, but not my kids. So.
I went, it was like Easter weekend, and we were all off, and I got a chance to spend time with my 14 and my 17-year-old, and we hit the movies like we do on Thanksgiving. And as my son gets ready to go to college, we're going to have fewer and fewer of these things. It's like, and my daughter declared those moments. She is my true crime podcast fan. There were some moments that she said were obviously trying to manipulate us and somewhat cringy, to which Logan and I were like, oh my God, it's so... So I think if you're the horror guy, I'm the heartwarming person. But yeah, so my daughter is with you. She's like, there were some moments that she felt were cringy, but overall they liked it. I love the artistry of it. Like the fact that those were practical, I say, yeehaw, bring it on more. And I think honestly, that's why they could do some tear-jerking moments, because there was real live human flesh involved in it, as opposed to like some two-dimensional flat fakey fake, you know. So I loved it. It was a good family movie. It was worth seeing. It's a fine family movie, absolutely. And it was a good afternoon out. Yeah. And you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, speaking of flat and emotionless, the movie that just came out last week was the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Another deliberate cash grab for younger audiences. In case it's not obvious, I didn't really like it. It wasn't even, I don't really need a movie that's for kids to throw stuff to adults, but don't make it so that it insults the children as well, which is kind of, there's nothing to it. It's just, oh look, they have magical powers now. Who knew? Jack Black is even restrained. You're kind of getting. He plays Bowser, and you're kind of getting rid of the best part of Jack Black when he loses his mind. No, he's very sedate for Jack Black. I'm obviously in the minority on this because it made something like 175 million on its opening weekend. The last one grossed $1 billion. It's probably going to gross $1 billion as well. So they're just going to keep making them until the heat death of the universe, I guess.
Well, it'll be like Rocky 87 or Fast and the Furious Ocho or whatever. You know, like they'll just keep making them until they don't make money. That doesn't mean they're any good. My son wanted to see it with his friends. I'm just going to be really honest. I sat on my phone the entire time.
In the theater?
In the theater. I'm that person. Well, the theater we were in was pretty empty. It was an early matinee because my kids have a lot of activities. And again, this was one that we went to because, you know, family time is important. And I was the driver. So I sat far away in the corner by myself because I knew that I wasn't going to this is not my movie.
Yeah, well, all of history's greatest monsters have rationalizations, Randee.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, just for that movie, I sat in the corner by myself and played on my phone. Okay. But I did win an awful lot of like Royal King Richard, whatever. Okay. I want to talk about, and if Project Hail Mary lives and dies on the charm of, you know, Ryan Gosling, it is a good month to be Anne Hathaway, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
She has Mother Mary coming out, which I think is going to be interesting. I haven't seen it. I've read excerpts from the script, and
I mean it's her first A24.
Yeah.
So it's David Lowery who directed The Green Knight, which is a really, I think, underrated, underseen movie from a few years ago. It looks very psychosexual, which I don't always associate that word with Anne Hathaway.
I don't ever associate that word with Anne Hathaway.
It depends on. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get into that.
That's maybe for therapy.
But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it's received. It's Michaela Cole, who was in that HBO miniseries. His name fails me. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it's received.
What I've read of it and the pieces that I've seen so far, very much like Black Swan, makes me think of Black Swan. Yeah. And I think, this is grown up Anne Hathaway. Like this is very different. So I'm excited to see it. I just hit my mic. I'm the worst. I'm excited to see it. But I'm also excited to see The Devil Wears Prada 2. Because I think The Devil Wears Prada is an excellent screenplay in the sense that if you want to look at structure and plot, it really is I don't know, Jenny Walden might disagree with me, but I think it's an excellent teaching script. And I really just deeply enjoyed it because I worked for a woman like that, so I could identify with her. But my daughter and I are really looking forward to it.
I will be taking my daughters to see it. I am excited about the sequel because they got rid of the worst part of the first movie, which was the boyfriend, played by Adrien Grenier. He is not in this one, and I really wonder how he feels about that. But the rest of the cast is returning. Obviously, Meryl Streep's great. Stanley Tucci,
And who's not cheering for Stanley Tucci? Given everything that he's been through.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very excited.
So that's good. So that should be, and that's going to be huge anyway. So
I am very excited.
Okay.
How about Normal? That's coming out this month. What do you think?
I'm a big Bob Odenkirk fan, all the way back to the Ben Stiller Show and Mr. Show on HBO. Yeah, I've been a huge fan of his. I don't know how I feel about him sort of becoming a late stage Jason Statham, because he's done Nobody and Nobody 2, and now Normal looks not identical to those, but kind of the same. Well, he's a mild-mannered guy with a mysterious past who actually his mysterious past turns out to be ass-kicking. So I'm going to watch it because I'm an Odenkirk fan, and I like westerns. It's kind of a neo-western. So, but I kind of wonder what the audience's tolerance is for him doing this again.
I'm also just wondering what the audience tolerance for a neo-western is right now when we're inundated with Yellowstone-esque things on streaming.
Yeah, that's true. I put Yellowstone out of my mind. Anyway.
Yeah, well, don't worry. And then I know we're wrapping up this segment really quickly, but just a reminder that there's some excellent shows streaming right now. Hacks just started back up for its new season. The Pit has finished its second season. And then, of
one
course,
more episode.
Your Friends and Neighbors is back for another season. So much to talk about. There's so much great stuff to stream, so take a look, but go to movie theaters, please. And as we wrap this episode of Critics' Choice up, we want to thank the HCC Filmmaking Department for allowing us to use its teaching studio for our show. We also want to remind you that HCC has a fantastic filmmaking program. I may be biased because I teach in it, but we also have the best cage in the city. We have 2,000 pieces of equipment that the students actually get to use, which I'm always very excited about. Registration is coming up. As well as details for Houston Press and Swamp. They're all in our post after the show. And we are looking forward to next month is graduation time around here. So we'll be back at you in May at some point, post-graduation. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, Peter, so much fun.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Could have done another half an hour.
Could have.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on success. More degrees, stronger training, global online learning. A new name, the same mission. A bigger vision. Houston City College. Register now at hccs.edu.